So welcome back. I am doing another manga reading vlog. This is basically what I read from Monday through Friday. Yes, it's quite a lot because honestly I have some free time. So I'm gonna start with this one, The Savers Book Cafe Story in Another World. This is the last volume of this series. I mentioned this before. Basically, it's an isekai about this girl who's a saver. Her job is basically if anything happening in the kingdom, it's her job to kind of intervene, but yet at the same time, she hesitates because she doesn't want to be known as a saver. Overall, she just want to live a normal life, but in some cases, she had no choice but to intervene. And so this is the last series. As you can see in the front cover, she does have a nice happy ending, and I'm so excited it's kind of ending. And so yes, it's a happy ending. More magic happening here. There was a few struggles, but at the end everything kind of works out for them. And so yeah, so sad it's done, but it's a very light reading, and so you can read this pretty in one day. So the next one is called Crazy Food Truck, of course. So this ex-military dude runs a food truck because it somehow becomes his hobby. They live in a dystopian world. This character, he found her in the middle of the road, and he found out later that she's a military asset, and so she's in danger, and so he decided to help her and protect her during all these crazy times. And so they have this nice journey trying to find food because he runs a food truck. They face a lot of obstacles because of the military and other situation, and so I really like it. At first it was a little bit over the top because there is some explicit scene. This is definitely not for teenagers, definitely for adult, because like I said. And so I'm gonna just show you this volume 2. Yeah, I really like it. It's a lot of adventure, violence, and very easy to read, just straightforward and all. And yeah, I can't wait for volume 3, except my library doesn't have volume 3, and so I might have to purchase it. The next one is called Die Dark. Overall, this one was very funny in my opinion. It may sound like very dark and gory, but not totally. Basically, it's about these two partners named Sanko and Avakian. Avakian is like a paggy, like a backpack, but he transferred to a tall skeletal figure and they work together. And Sanko has a special bone inside him where a lot of his enemies try to go after him, because with this bone you can make a special wish. Basically, a lot of people would want to rule the universe. I forgot to mention this is like a space adventure, which is kind of right in my alley because I love space stories. And so yeah, I really enjoy it. It's super fun to read. This is the same author for Dorohedoro, and there is some, of course, violence and some gory part, but other than that, it's a fun to read in my opinion. And the illustration might be different, and I don't know, I like it. I don't mind. It's very straightforward. Like I said, it's very funny. Can't wait to read more of this. I like it. Okay, we have The Horizon. So this one was super interesting. It's about this boy who just woke up and suddenly people were dying and getting killed by other people, which doesn't make sense, because throughout the story, for me, I still don't understand why people were killing each other or how they were dying. And so he goes on this journey, found a girl. They decided to just walk together and find out what's going on. But along the way, they find this unusual man that started to follow them, but the boy just had a bad feeling about him. And so he was right, because one night the dude did something terrible, but before that they were trying to escape, but the man was super smart and kind of sensed they were doing that. And so yeah, overall it's a very exactly what's going on, because it's not very wordy, what's gonna happen. And then the thing I didn't like about this, maybe it's just me, I didn't like how it ends, I'll be honest. And so that's all, because I can't say too much. And so I would recommend this, of course, if you want something different, easy to read and just super fast. Definitely. Here's the next one. It's called I Had the Same Dream Again. So basically, it's this girl who has a school assignment finding the meaning of happiness, basically what makes her happy. And so she talks to her two older friends, and she met this high school, junior high girl. Yeah, she doesn't really have friends in her school because I believe the student find her weird. And so there are like about two students that talks to her, but she doesn't consider them as a friend because they don't play after school and stuff like that. And so yeah, she struggles, you know, what makes her happy, what's the meaning of happiness. And so now these three friends eventually tell their meaning, but at the end, this three friend, this is the part where I was mind blown. I kind of made some prediction and I was kind of right at the very end. And so these three friends of hers, somewhat later in the story, will be beneficial to her future, if that makes sense. And these three friends will also have this same dream. They don't have the same dream, but they would have that same dream over, I guess. And so that is why that's the title, because at the very end, this little girl would wake up like, oh, I have that same dream again. And so that's all I can say. It's really nice story, very heartwarming, very easy to read. I love it. I think this is a one shot. As you can see, it's very thick. Yes, it's just one of the stories that just so intriguing. It just makes you want to read and read more. I mean, of course, there's some sad moments, but it's worth to read. I'll be honest, it's so worth to read. Totally mind blown. So this is the volume 1 of The Way of the House Husband. This guy is a former Yakuza, left that life and just decided to become a house husband who does chores, cooking, and does errands. This is actually a funny story and kind of like interesting because he's a former Yakuza trying to figure out this normal life, and so he's not basically used to it, and so it's like a kid learning something new. Yeah, but it's cute. And he wears this apron everywhere in public. He does like bump into his former colleague, but it doesn't really bother him. And so there is some few violence in the book, but other than that, I like it. It's super fun to read, very light and easy. And I believe, I'm not sure if this is an ongoing series because I bought the rest. This is a library book, and so far I think there's like 9 or 10 volumes, so I'm not sure if this is an ongoing series, but yeah, I like it. So thank you for sticking through this far. I know that was quite a lot, but let's keep going. By now you probably heard this anime. This is called Windbreaker. It's about the school protecting the town from gangs, and I think they would consider themselves as gangs, but I think their main goal is just to protect the town, basically. And so the main character is Sakura. He is from out of town and decide to go to this school because it's super famous and he wants to be in the top. And so yeah, I really like it so far. It's not something that I would read, but like I was super interested after watching the anime, and so that's why I decided to give this a read. And yeah, I really like it. And so here's some sneak peek from the manga. And Sakura, he's so funny because I guess growing up he didn't feel like accepted, and so ever since he moved to this town, people are so welcoming and heartwarming, and so he's not used to that. And yeah, he gets very flustered, but it's super cute. What we have here is called Gachi Akuta. I feel like people were talking about this last year and suddenly kind of stopped, but I was super interested after reading the plot. So it's about this young boy who lives in the slum. In his world, you got the upper class and the lower class, which is the slump, also called tribesfolk. And then one day he got framed for murder, and anybody who commit crime, they will be thrown to the pit, which is where all the trash goes. And so that's what happened to him after that. And he met this trash monsters, he met this dude, and suddenly he was tested, and then he found out that he has a special power because in this pit apparently there's people with powers, and now this pit also has normal buildings, has normal food, and so there's like a bad image that the pit is just full of trash, but not really. You got normal people living in this pit. And then above the pit, they call it the spear, which the people below don't like the spear people or Spearites. And so yeah, it's super interesting because I want to learn more about why there's two different worlds, and he has power, and he also meet other people with power and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's super interesting because like I like reading about like two different world, like almost like parallel world. And so yeah, now the illustration is very, I'm gonna be honest, it's very basic, but like I don't mind because I know what's going on and it's just straightforward. And so like yeah, kind of very basic, but it's still fun to look at. And so yeah, oops, volume 2 is coming out at the end of this month, and so I can't wait. I might have to buy that because I don't think my library will probably have it on time. And so yeah, almost done. This is like second to the last, and so this one's called Wotakoi. I did mention this in my last reading log. So basically it's a otaku story between 4 friends. They're all co-workers, just more otaku life, more relationship. If you read this, then you know what's gonna happen, and so it's still fun to read. I like it so far. As I mentioned before, this is a short series, only has 6 volumes, so I'm almost there. Just need to read 4, 5, 6, and so yeah, I truly enjoy. And so what else I can say? This is just a fun to read. So we finally reached the end. The last one's called The Quintessential Quintuplets. The 5 girls in the cover are quintuplets. Basically they're flunking in their prior school and they were transferred to a new school, and so their dad decided to get a tutor, which happened to be their new classmate. And this new classmate is very determined and eager to tutor them because it's an opportunity for him to get extra funds because his family is struggling. Along the way, it just sounds very annoying because the girls are just super stubborn, very spoiled. They just do whatever they want. They don't care about their study. And so the tutor, it's a big challenge for him to like have them gather and study at the same time. And so yeah, it's quite funny at the same time. I like it. It's just volume 1, so I'm really eager to like know if he can succeed and whether these girls are gonna graduate at the very end. And so yeah, here's a sneak peek. You know, girls are just being girls, and so I understand that. And at the same time, you know, studying can be hard and challenging at the same time. And so yeah, that was quite definitely a lot. And so that was kind of fun for me because it's just helped me practice being in the front of a camera and also speaking, and at the same time getting my comprehension get better. And so thank you for sticking through. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. I wasn't sure if I should make a longer video or a short video, and so yeah, please just let me know what you think. Drop a comment, and if you're interested of more of this kind of video, please subscribe and like this video. Thank you.